شفاعة يا رسول الكريم آمين إن شاء الله. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ati'ullah, Ati' Rasul, ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, Ana abdukal ajizul da'eefu, miskeen, zalim, jahal. And but for the grace of Allah that we're still in existence, alhamdulillah. InshaAllah, what do we have from our SMC family inshaAllah online, and we've covered so many topics. InshaAllah we do like a little bit of recap from what's been talked about in the last few days and what's been going over inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, if we felt like we did as much good as we can in the past months, but during zalzalah horrible behavior and characteristic comes out, does it mean it wasn't accepted?
No, it means that what we said of zalzalah, what's hidden comes out. Means the hidden realities, the hidden character, the hidden anger, the bad character comes out when Allah shakes something. So anything in our life when Allah shakes us, something's going to come out. So the whole world, look now, as soon as people they get shaken, the worst of character comes out, most violent of character, most violent of behavior. If this is the whole, then imagine each individual when Allah says, "They don't change a condition of a people until they change what's within themselves." How can our conditions change when all of these bad characteristics are within ourselves? That verse alone it teaches us there's no need to protest. Allah says, "I'm not changing condition of a people, not until they come out in protest but until they change themselves." So these are the way of tariqah, but they don't see it as that and they don't want to take a course in which to purify themselves, to observe themselves and to see what is it that makes them either collectively good or bad. So if three bad people come together. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream, every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It becomes a group of bad people. If 3 good people come together, it becomes a group of good people. So this is the importance of self-realization, the way of tafakkur, contemplation, to accompany the guides and how to realize the bad character and how to bring the bad character down so that we become a group of good people and gather as good people. But the dunya is not interested in that and shaitan riles the people's energies, and this is the role that shaitan plays, to put a fuel and a fire into everything, and as a result everywhere becomes very heated with bad character and anger and every type of bad influence. So the way of tariqah is ishq and muhabbat and spreading knowledges and realities. And this is the way of the shuyukh to give from fruits and realities to feed the servants of Allah. Means Tariqah is like hospitality. When you come to the zawi of the shaykh, he's responsible to feed you, and this is a sign of hospitality, that to take care of the guests because they're the guests of Allah. But beyond the feeding of physical, then he must be feeding spiritual, and this is the sign of the real way, is to feed people from their spiritual sustenance. Means they feed people for the sake of Allah. Again, this is the way of tariqah. But when they don't want to feed people but they just want to make comments and become political and talk bad about this person, bad about this person, means they have no reality to give. And this becomes again the life that people are living now. When people are not fed spiritual realities, their badness and wildness is not brought down. So then the people who don't teach realities, they increase the wildness of people, because the ni'mat of Allah in haqqaiqs, it tames the nafs and shaitan. It has an energy and a qudrat. But when you don't sit to give a reality but you want to sit in judgment of Allah's creation, this one like this, that one's bad, this one's good, that one's bad, you're giving the people a wild energy. And it's not a ni'mat, it's not a blessing, it's not a haqqaiq or a reality from the Muhammadan realities to bring down the fire of bad character. So you see the simultaneous, the wildness of people and the lack of spiritual knowledges on this earth and dissemination of the spiritual knowledges. The spiritual knowledges we described in the layers of the amara, the layers of the nafs. The only way to be lifted from nafs amara is from haqqaiqs. So that's why they accompany the shaykhs and the shaykhs of the fountains of reality. As they teach those haqqaiqs is what Allah described, they feed you for the sake of Allah's Divinely face. So there are a category of awliya whom they feed people for the sake of Allah's Divinely face. So they're not everywhere, but in that category then that's a immense reality, that knowledge dresses people and uplifts them from negative characteristics, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salaam wa rahmatullah.
Is it normal to feel the ta'weez has changed in energy after it being shown to someone?
No, it's not the energy change, or again that could be 1,000 different variables. That the person's energy changed, something in the environment changed, the negative energies were released in the environment. It could be anything. So when it comes to energy, anything is possible from what people are experiencing or have an experience with, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salaam.
Sayyidi, so we've heard the jinn can see us but we can't see them, but do the jinn see only our wave reality or also our physicality?
No, anything from the wave reality sees everything. Anything from particle reality sees nothing, they only see other particles. So the one on top of the mountain, he sees the whole city, but the one in the city barely sees even the mountain. So that's why the whole spiritual path is based on ascension, that to make an ascension, to go into realities so that the sight of the servant becomes more vast. The more knowledge they have, the more tolerant they are. The more knowledge they have, they understand the hikmah and the wisdom of things. The less knowledge they have, they're intolerant and no patience, and they just want to see another particle, and they don't understand why you're like this particle, why is like this particle, why your particle is dressed like this, why your particle looks like that. But the one from a wave reality sees the hikmah and the wisdom of Allah's creation and is accessing and accesses to light and realities. That's why that when they train in their malakut in the world of light, they have a lot more tolerance and patience and understandings because they understand the energy of everything. Who's capable of receiving it, who's not capable of receiving it, and all that comes with that energy. So you see people whom are not tolerant, they are less access to the world of light. And the ones whom are very tolerant, then they are kings in the world of light. And that's why we say when somebody is Sultan al-Awliya means he's from 124,000 awliya, he's the greatest of their nuqt. That they have the most intense sabr and understanding and good character because they understand the immense hikmah and wisdom in everything. And everything is exactly the way Allah has it, and their level of submission is immense. But the less they are from that reality, they have comment on everything. They're not satisfied with things, they're a lot of critical comments, different type of character. So it should be like commonsensical. The more you're deeper into the light, then you have a union with that light and you understand that what Allah is planning in His creation. So it builds patience and tolerance, forbearance, understanding, everything. Lack of it is the reverse direction, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum, Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, as one of your new student, I would like to understand if the people of situations and we encounter serve as mirrors showing aspects of our self that we might not be fully aware of.
That we are a mirror to each other. The Prophet described that the believer is a mirror to one another. So most definitely our life is a mirror. The people whom we come across and the realities that we come across, they're reflecting. And when you come across a shaykh who's like a polished mirror, you see a lot of yourself in which you think you're seeing the shaykh but you don't see the shaykh. You see only yourself, your character, your desires. So this is the house of illusions. Many people think they draw near then they run away and they feel like, oh the shaykh is like this, shaykh is like that. No, it's that you spend so much time in the presence of the mirror, what you saw of yourself made you run away. Because there's no way you saw the reality of the shaykh, you don't connect and close your eyes and see his haqqaiq and the reality of that light and its proximity. So what people are seeing of the particle or glimpses of any type of spirituality, it's a reflection of their character. What they don't like is a reflection from their character. So this understanding of the mirror and mirroring is very important because this is the way of ascension. One is to understand that La ilaha illallah you'll never reach, but if you want to reach it reflects to Muhammadun Rasulullah. And that's why the teaching is draw near to the Prophet of Islam. And that reality is then in the reality of the tafakkur and contemplation. Well then I want to draw near to the presence of the Prophet. Then they come and teach, okay then make your muraqabah, because the Prophet is reflecting to the shaykhs, to his companions, his Ahlul Bayt, to the shaykhs, like mirrors they're reflecting all the way down to the ulul amr whom are existing upon this earth. They take the reflection and the tajalli, the tawajjuh, the Divine, the face, the dressing, and that dresses them. Anyone who makes a muraqabah is asking to open from that reality. Is it open from that face and that tajalli so that the mirror can dress the servant. And that's when we take the mirror in the sun and point it, you can burn anything, you can burn a rock because it magnifies the sunlight. So this is the reality of mirroring. So when you make your muraqabah they meditate and they magnify the light coming from Prophet which is a light coming from Allah. As a result that light hits the servant and begins to burn. As they accompany the servant and accompany the shaykh, they're seeing more and more of themselves but they think they're seeing the shaykh. But they don't see the shaykh, they see themselves. So anytime you look in a mirror, this is the illusion and delusion of a mirror. When you look in the mirror and you say, oh who's this? Oh that's so and so. So no, it's actually you. I don't like the way he said this, I don't like the way they ate that, I don't like this, whatever it is people don't like, that's you. That's what's important to identify. When we're able to understand that reality and identify that reality, then we begin to write and take our notes and say, no these are my characteristics and I get angry at this, I'm intolerant of this, and I get to identify my character defects. And the one whom is able to identify their character defects they can begin to work on their defects, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ya Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair for teaching us the reality of the active state of Rasulullah in Makkah. Sayyidi, if Baitul Mamur mirrors Makkah in heavens, what mirrors Madina in the heavens? Forgive my ignorance, Sayyidi.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it that way, but Kaaba is the state of the active heart. So the heart that you have active, you operate your dunya with. Madina represents the heart that is in fana because it's also alive but it's in a state of the Divine, the Presence. So the binary would be one is Mecca and the nuqt would be Madina. But it's not the one of the Divine, the Presence, means it's the one that's active. Like in our lives we're active trying to become a nuqt. So the active state of Mecca, because the people are coming and Prophet is observing his nation through his arwah, through his soul of Nabiyeen, Siddiqeen, Shuhada'i wa Saliheen, and Allah is with them. Means then that's an active state of Mecca in which it's active and observing all those whom are coming and their worshipness. Madinatul Munawwarah is the state of annihilation in which Prophet became nuqt, the servant of Abdullah, the servant of Allah. When Prophet is a nuqt, then the true one will appear. This is the secret of binary coding. So I'm a one in my home and in my life, guiding my family. When I enter into my tafakkur, I'm not a one, I don't want to be a one, I want to be nothing, so that the true one can begin to appear. So this reality of Makkah, Madina is of that reality. The active state with the nation, with the community, and then the active state of Prophet's fana in the Divinely Presence, in which Allah is present upon that reality. This Lam Alif is the whole secret of our journey. Within the heavens is a entirely different understanding, because this is all the world of light. Everything in the heavens is Prophet. Everything in the heavens is created from Nurul Muhammadi. This hadith Jabar, that what was the first thing that Allah created? He said, the light of your messenger before there was any creation, and from that light Allah made Baitul Mamur, made the throne, made the angels, made everything was created with Muhammadun Rasulullah. So in the heavens is a completely different understanding of the haqqaiqs of Sayyidina Muhammad, and what each haqqaiq represents in the proximity to the reality of Prophet. So means the heart in the heavens are Kitab, the mother of all books. This is then the immensity of that reality, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
With the recent talk about iron being from the heavens and burning shayateen, do conditions like thalassemia and anemia have to do with spiritual realities?
I don't know thalassemia, but I know that anemia is the lack of iron within the body and that has to do with everything has to do with our spiritual ability and reality, that it's essential for our qudra. So means our energy attaches to what? It doesn't attach to the water of our body. So the energy in our electrical field has a great deal to do with the iron within our body. That iron is what gives the blood its colour. That iron is found within the cell of the blood. So that iron that's moving is carrying energy. These are the receptors that carry energy throughout the body. So our energy is flowing on that iron. So the quality and the cleanliness of that iron then is important, on how to clean the blood, how to drink pure, how to do the dhikr, how to do all of those practices. It's all a deep reality in the teaching of our physiology, and we have the talks on it on our Nur Muhammad website of what is the reality of the iron and breathing. And when we breathe we stamp our iron with the dhikr, the importance of dhikrullah. When the people are external they don't understand the importance of dhikr. Internal people when they're sitting and observing themselves, they understood that every time they make a dhikr it's a powerful heavenly light. That light dresses the iron on the blood. That's the light that entering into the heart, the blood enters into the heart and gets stamped by Allah, gets stamped by the salawats, the zikr, the durood, everything is being stamped onto the body, stamped onto the iron, and that iron then is moving throughout the body and spreading the energy to all the organs and to everything on the body. So those whom are low in iron, then they have to sort of take the food and the diets necessary to bring that iron up, because then they find themselves with no energy and their oxygen is affected and everything becomes affected. So then the depletion of iron has to be always sort of observed, and how to increase the iron back into the body. So yes, everything in our body is interconnected, and anytime we're dealing with energies that we don't see, their effect upon us has a great deal of realities. If these negative energies attach themselves to us, all sorts of ulcerations and sicknesses and difficulties can come to people. And most sicknesses are a result of energies that we don't understand. So the dhikr, the salah, the wudu, everything that Prophet brought for us was to increase our frequency and our energy. When we do all of the practices that Prophet brought, I mean everything, the salah, the wudu, everything that we're supposed to be doing, it actually increases all of the energy of the body and the energy field, which is meant to push away every type of negativity. Imagine Allah knows what He created, He's sending us as a physical box onto this earth with all sorts of unseen energies. So He gives to the nation that, here, do these practices, this will make your physical box, because we're a physical being where all these creatures can come into, that do these practices and your frequencies will push them out. So everything that Prophet brought for us was immense energy trainings, and we have that in the Holy Sunnah that talks about the reality of the Sunnah. Everything that Prophet brought was immense energy trainings. From covering your head to wearing your ring, to having your siwak, to having your asa and your cane, to having a ring, to everything that Prophet brought for us was the immense energy understanding. InshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, you said the key to sabr is to want nothing, but when we observe our life we realize that we want something at every moment. For example, rizq, spouse, kids. How to overcome this?
Yeah, that's the greatest battle, is to keep telling ourselves, I don't want it. To find happiness in what Allah has given and decreed. That, Ya Rabbi, that whatever you've given to me, alhamdulillah, you know my condition, that whatever you have in store for me, I'm in need of it now. What Nabi Musa had asked Allah, if you have anything good for me, I'm in need of it now. I don't know what it is and I don't want to name it because it may not come that way, but ufawwidu amri innallaha basirun bil ibad. So this is the du'a that we keep making, Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab, Ya Musabbibul Asbab, Ya Mufattih Abwab, Ya Muqallibul Qulubi wal Absar, Ya Daleel al Muttahirin, Ya Ghiyath al Mustaghithin, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Ya Dhul Jalali wal Ikram. Ufawwidu amri innallahu basirun bil ibad. For verily Allah sees my condition. Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab, the one whom gives, the giver, the bestower. So means this is a way in which to teach ourselves, don't ask for anything specific but ask for whatever Allah has good in store for us. When we become very specific of what we want, then we're setting ourselves up for a difficulty. It almost becomes like a demand in which we're asking from Allah, and Allah should be replying to us the way we asked, and the character and the adab doesn't become correct. So they're teaching us the manners. Expect nothing. So, Ya Rabbi, you're great, you fed me all my life, you're going to feed me to the end of my days. If there's anything good in store for me then I'm in need of it, Ya Rabbi. And then you meditate and contemplate, then do your zikr, do your awrad, have good character. It's one thing to keep asking Allah, but then are we doing what Allah asked? That's what's important with the meditation. People say, I want this, I want the perfect spouse and then you meditate and say, are you also the perfect spouse? Or are you crooked but you're wanting perfect spouse so that you can make crooked. Then you have to think to yourself, well, Allah is going to send that to you. So everything is based on tafakkur, that I want this, I want that, I want that. Okay, that's very nice that you want these things, but sit and meditate and think, okay, did I do what Allah wanted from me in my life? And I am trying to do those, okay, I'm trying to be in the right place, do the right thing, have the right character. When those line up, then inshaAllah Allah send that what He wants to send to the servant. So inshaAllah we have to put ourselves in a condition, change ourselves, and then everything of our condition begins to change around us. And we have those talks of manifestation. But we don't want to change our condition, we want all the outside conditions always to change. So that's again the same thing, we have that talk also. Everybody wants peace on earth but they're not peaceful people. How's that going to happen? Same person then is angry and wants more money from job, wants a good spouse, wants good this, that. So everything is based on that ayatul kareem. I don't change any conditions in geopolitics or in your banking or anything until you change yourself. When you work on yourself, when we work on ourselves, then we see the miracle of Allah begins to completely change the frequency and the environment of our surroundings, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
When we become nuqt and the One appears in our life, can we relate this to the reality of our shaykh appearing in our life?
Is one understanding of that there's a time in which our guide appears before us either through the YouTube, through an event, through an email, through whatever Allah is sending. And many times you hear that the person was one and they didn't catch it. They say, oh, I saw that video a long time ago, I don't know what the guy was talking about. So Allah's rahmah, mercy is if we are on a one going down. So many times people have very interesting stories how they came into tariqah, difficulties, smashings, all sorts of events in their life that Allah took their one and smashed it down. And as a result of their one being smashed down, that when it appeared it had the ability to attach to them, and they recognized this is going to be important in my life and this teaching and this teacher is going to be important in my life. But definitely if somebody is like a Pharaoh and a one, they don't see it at all. That's why it's not who we want to guide but whom Allah guides. So we ask all the students, just send the videos out, there's going to be many ones, they curse, they say awful things. And you say, oh well, I thought these people were Sufi. No, it doesn't matter what people call themselves, they can be awful Sufi and awful this or awful that. And our job is basically just send the teachings out and it'll catch to the one whom Allah is putting them in a position to reach towards the training of a nuqt, in which they understand, oh this was the sustenance, this was the food, this was the reality that I was searching for. So yes, it has to be related to that, because if we were on our way up to be Pharaoh we would never see these realities, we would never see the cave. When Prophet was hiding in the cave with Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, this is that reality. Nobody sees that cave if they're on their way up to be Pharaoh. Only the humble see that, and only by the grace of Allah that they can see that there's a reality within this cave. And if I enter, I think Allah has something for me of my haqqaiq and my existence and my eternal reality and my eternal soul. So it's an immense gift from Allah. That's why we say it's not cleverness that we came. We came through emails or this or that, but not because we were clever. But Allah inshaAllah put us in a condition in which this would pass and we would receive it. Because it passes many people and they pass it away and say, it's not for me. So this is a great blessing from Allah, is guidance, and whom Allah guides is rightly guided, and whom Allah does not guide can never find guidance. So this is a gift from Allah, any type of guidance that brings us to the heart and to the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's why it's a very unique path. So you can't take the path and ask other people because they have jealousy and they don't see it and they talk bad about it and they try to distract people from it. And again, this is just the way that to see who's going to cling on and who's going to stay on, and they stay with a sustenance, they stay with a strength. So these are important in our life. The people whom come into our life and they just clinging and then they fall. And then there are people whom they come and they don't really achieve much, and there are people then who come and they commit with their entire soul. And then those are the people whom their souls they're giving their soul to that reality. So these are the different categories of this reality, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, we are very concerned for my special needs nephew whose seizures we have not been able to control or stop for the last 12 years. They say seizures are an unseen attack from dark forces. What can we do to protect this special child who is too intellectually challenged to sit still to keep a taweez on?
You can pin the taweez on them on the back where they can't take it off. You put the baby pin, the safety pin for the babies, and then you put the taweez and pin it on the back so they can't keep pulling it off. And inshaAllah make the dhikr, the dua, and inshaAllah try to see if Allah will grant a healing, if it's energy or if it's something within the system of their body. But inshaAllah that the taweez and the dhikr and the salawats, attend the majlis online inshaAllah for the energies and for the blessings, and inshaAllah Allah provide an opening inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for opening the understanding of world of light for us. How do we connect the idea that life and death don't matter in a world of light with what the Qur'an says about Allah creating life and death as a test? Please forgive my bad adab.
How to think that world life and death doesn't matter for us?
In the world of light, Sayyidi.
That our goal is to reach towards the heavens and the world of light. So the goal is not the accomplishments in the physical world. So the importance is that when we meditate and contemplate we understand that the purpose of this life was to build a house in paradise. And so whatever means Allah gives to us we try to accomplish that. We don't have to conquer the entire earth, we don't have to be the most amazing and perfected worshipper, but we just got to work their system. That from what Allah gave to us we give towards our paradise realities, and to reach to that world of light and to understand that death is coming at any moment. So we live our life and everybody put that in a perspective. The danger now when you even watch social media, they don't want to die. They talk about rejuvenating, they talk about taking the stem cells of very young souls and they say they inject these stem cells and they can reduce their age and draw back 20 years in their just ridiculous things. But Allah says, they wish to live 1,000 years. So something going on with these people who want to live here forever, and they don't have a desire for paradise, and they don't have a desire to go back to the heavens, to be back with Prophet and all the holy messengers of Allah and Allah's Divinely lights. When they don't have the yearning for the homeland, then they're disconnected from their reality. You know, the yearning for one's homeland is a deep reality, but it wasn't only for the homeland of earth that we want to go back to our native soil, but the homeland of paradise, that the heavens that we came from, we're only travellers here and we have to be prepared to go back and have our bags packed at all times. And the one whom has a yearning within their heart that, I'm ready to go back whenever you want me, I try to set my affairs straight and everything to be taken care of, then this is a great sign of faith and a disattachment. So this is the tariqah's secrets, and as a result of this training, then when they meditate and contemplate, their soul is very light and their soul can enter into the realms of the heavens and the paradises and the realities, and they quench their thirst because of that. So they don't actually have to die to experience that. When they meditate, they're in the presence of those whom they love, they experience and feel that reality, and alhamdulillah, this is Allah's ni'mat and gift to the souls, that when Allah shows His kingdom to His servants is a gift from Allah. So this is the binary reality, that there has to be a training in which to turn off so that the Divine can turn the power on. But shaitan turns the power on so that you will be disconnected from the Divine, and then he makes the student the murid, and then he begins to teach how to make madad to him, which are his computers, his phones, his devices, and before you know it we are walking batteries. We're already all rigged with the devices, they're going to put chips in the head. So this is a madad to his machines. So it's the exact same system you see on this earth is what's being called to come back to the heavens, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, Allah Azza wa Jal covered the ears of the people of cave when they retreated there. However, during the pandemic the followers of Dajjal made us do the opposite, cover our mouths and retreat. Were they spiritually programming us in the opposite way?
That's an interesting reach, I don't know. Don't know about that, but yeah, we talked about the reality of the ears and listening and the power that the ears have to bring out the reality of the soul. So Allah's way is Allah's way, and what these people are trying to do is something completely different in conditioning. Like you condition a farm animal to sit, stand, go left, go right, they're conditioning to people to listen, and as a result of listening then they can put upon people what they want. Our way of the heavens is to be good servants in which we listen to everyone but listen to the Lord Most High, listening to Allah and listening to our heart and following what the heart is in need of, so that we can submit to the heavens and to be good servants of the heavens and good servants upon the earth. Those whom submit to the heavenly guidance and heavenly lights, they become beacons of light for the earth, in which they are examples of love and patience and tolerance and knowledge and wisdoms. Because when darkness comes, anger prevails over people, and their anger is because of ignorance. That's the time in which Islam should shine the most. The more ignorant people become, the more angry people become, it's the light that has to guide people. And that's why Prophet described that, my companions are like stars on a dark night. So the najm and the reality of a star, it only shines in the zulm, because the night we call zulm, in the oppression. So when oppression fills the earth, the stars of Islam should shine very bright, because everything they do out of anger is ignorant and stupid and will cause great difficulty for themselves. Only at that time they'll realize that how much light and guidance and realities Islam has, and then it becomes apparent to mankind. But now they take for granted because it's really not a full zulm yet. But when the zulm comes, the darkness comes, the ignorance comes and people reacting and acting from anger and fire, then the heavenly people they stand out, not to increase anger and fire and fight people, but to be lights and beacons. That hold on, you need these lights, you need these realities, you need all of these guidances from the heavens. So as the earth becomes dark in oppression, then the true lights of Islam begin to open within the hearts of people to guide God's creation, for He loves all His creation. And now people are making choices out of anger, pride and arrogance. They say very prideful things. So these are the worst of characters coming out. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.